Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Masha and I'm going to be talking about melasma and briefly in some other pigmented lesions. I just want you to know a little bit about melasma and why it's so difficult to treat. And by doing that, I'm going to go really quickly through some skin layers and what causes it and all the approaches that we try to use. We really need to comprehensively address this issue. You can't just go and get a treatment or go and get a peel and then not do anything in between. I really recommend continued treatment. This is unfortunately a chronic process. Here's a picture of it before and after. You know what it looks like. It involves the face. It can involve the arms, even the upper arms. It's also called mask of pregnancy. It's caused by hormones. It's more common in dark-skinned individuals and women. And just to let you know, the pigment is actually formed in the epidermis, not the dermis. We all have the same number of melanocytes, but that melanocyte stimulating hormone is what really determines how much melanin each produce. And here is a demonstration of the different Fitzpatrick skin types and how each of these people display and produce a different amount of melanin. The skin is comprised of the epidermis, the dermis, and subcutaneous tissue. Just note here that in the dermis, you'll see all those blood vessels that fuel that inflammation and start to really react when we get those little melanosomes that I'm going to show you soon seep down into there into the dermis. Here's another picture of the epidermis, and these are those keratinocytes. Down deep in here in that stratum basale, a part of the epidermis that abuts that papillary region in the dermis. This is where you'll find the melanocytes. Here's just a quick little epidermis showing that thick stratum corneum, which is thicker on the palms and the hands, stratum lucidum, and again, those keratinocytes. And here, way down deep is that melanocyte. So when those melanocytes make that melanin, they're packaged in these cute little melanosomes that are taken in through cell signaling right into those keratinocytes. Unfortunately, when we get older or due to pigmentary changes and other inflammation in the skin, those little melanosomes can seep down in between those keratinocytes down even into the dermis, and they can kind of increase that inflammation that occurs there. That area of here, I'm just going to show you really quickly here in this stratum basale of the epidermis, you'll see here too all of these important connective anchoring filaments and everything that kind of keeps those cells together and keeps them protected. And then you've got collagen in here, down here in the dermis too, which is supporting all of this. And all of this collagen here is supporting this epidermis. And once this starts eroding, whether it's from UV radiation or other causes, aging, which again is also stimulated by UV radiation, we start getting less support in the epidermis, which means worse cell-cell interaction, more dropping of those pigments down into the dermis, more inflammation. Here's a blood vessel here, and you get angiogenesis, and a whole downward spiral of events occurs that makes everything worse. So what we're going to talk about here is what happens when things get worse. You've got a skin, you can kind of see very closely in here a little bit of color changes, but what's really going on, you can see in the polarized light here, is that there's increased erythema and matting of blood vessels. And this Woods light is also showing you where that pigment is, and you can kind of see how the vascularity and the pigment really correspond to each other. Here's an area of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. There is a lot of erythema in this area. Even with our sunspots, we're having that issue. So we do have a lot of products that treat this. Hydroquinone, 4% and up, our prescription Lytera 2.0, which is hydroquinone free, hydrofacials, any type of exfoliations, alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, and other things, especially retinol, are very helpful in treating melasma and sunspots. Hydroquinone not as helpful on sunspots though. Chemical peels are very helpful. We use a number of those in our practice, and the Vitalize is a very popular one because there's very limited downtime, but has a profound effect probably after 4 treatments, whereas the Obagi Blue peel is more after 1, but you need sedation to have that performed. So we don't perform those as regularly. The laser, there are many types of modalities that claim to address melasma, And the Aerolase laser has now made a great innovative technology to reduce any chance of having post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation while reaching into the dermis, which is really important. Hydroquinone, long story short, has some side effects: ochronosis, nail discoloration, conjunctival melanosis, a lot of acute allergic reactions, and irritation. So a lot of times we will switch people over to Lytera 2.0 that does not contain that hydroquinone and is a little better tolerated, especially when we add our retinols that are very important. Lytera 2.0 was the same as hydroquinone, 4% in studies, which is fantastic. We're very lucky that that's the case. We like to switch people to and give people a hydroquinone holiday, and Lytera 2.0 gives us that great opportunity to do that. Obagi NuDerm has a fantastic system that includes that 4% hydroquinone by prescription, and you can blend it with a tailored retinol, and it is a very good maintenance program. Before you get treatment, starting 6 to 8 weeks, it gets that skin primed and healthy enough and protects the skin and gets it strong enough so that when you get your treatment, it responds appropriately and you can maintain all that hard work that you did. Here are just many of the chemicals that are in Lytera 2.0. It treats dark spots as well, very well. Uneven skin, a number of issues are addressed with Lytera 2.0. So we're very lucky that they came out with that. Chemical peels again. And here's before and after 3 peels with our vitalized peel. You're going to get similar results with the B peels. And again, the laser. So this laser, the Aerolase Neo laser, goes down deep into that dermis where all those blood vessels are and all that inflammation that is just making things worse. It's also stimulating that collagen so that the epidermis is better supported and protected. You can actually do hydrofacial, facial peels, and a decent skincare regimen even immediately after receiving the laser, because it is such a fast laser that it's not causing that surrounding inflammation. What increases the risk of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation is actually heat. And so what's so special about this laser is that it's really low in that heat that's dissipated to surrounding tissues, making it safe for all skin types. Here are the things it targets: water, melanin, and that hemoglobin, those veins and redness. So we even go in, and once we treat deep into things and stimulate that collagen, building it slowly, we also go in and target blood vessels. Rosacea, acne, any skin issues that is contributing to poor complexion can be targeted, especially including melasma and sunspots. Here again is the difference between the IPL. I'm asked all the time by patients, hey, what's the difference between the Cyton, BBL, light therapy versus laser? A lot. This laser really goes down deep into the dermis and can address the deep issues. I'm not going to say causative because, again, this is a chronic condition which must be chronically treated. So a lot of times we'll do 4 laser treatments 1 year and followed by 3 the following year. And again, they can be followed by chemical peels and hydrofacials, especially that Glycol MD, which is 30% of acid, and it's a great peel, and we see even more epidermal turnover and great effects. We've been provided with some wonderful references and permissions for using some great pictures that I appreciate from multiple sources. And if you have any other questions, you can find us on spagoerie.com. You can also find us on Instagram or Facebook, and you can also give us a call at 814-860-4995 or email me at maishamd@spagoerie.com. Thank you.